What's up YouTube? Welcome to New Parents in Training. So today I'm going to compare 3 jogging strollers. We have the Thule Urban Glide 2, Bob Revolution Flex 3, and Joovy Zoom 360 Ultra Light. So I have done videos on them individually before, so I'll put those links on top so you can go check them out. So what I'm going to do today is to compare all 3 of them side by side, starting with setup. 2, I'm going to talk about quality. And 3, runnability. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the value, what those 3 are going to bring to you. So anyway, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So first of all, let's talk about setup. All 3 strollers came with the wheels off, so you do have to install them. The installation part is fairly simple, so I'm not going to go through with them here. The installation guides provided by the strollers clearly indicate how you can install the front and the rear wheels. Only Joovy comes with a handheld pump included with the stroller. The other 2, they don't. But all honestly, I would still recommend you to get an electrical air pump with a gauge so you know exactly how much PSI of air you have pumped into those tires. Now the Joovy handheld one, it's nice that they included one, but that thing is kind of poorly designed, and when you try to pump air into the tires, that handheld pump is just not that useful. Alright, let's talk about the quality of the 3 strollers. Now the Bob gear is the heaviest, coming at around 28.5 pounds for the stroller itself. The Thule comes in at 25 pounds. Now Joovy is the lightest, coming at about 15 pounds. Now you might think heavier, it means better, but not necessarily in this case. The Thule Urban Glide 2, even though coming at lighter than the Bob gear, about 3 pounds lighter, I would more prefer the Thule stroller because that stroller is actually well built and it feels sturdy. Don't get me wrong, the Bob Gear Revolution Flex 3, it still feels really sturdy, but it does come in heavier than the Thule. Now, as far as for the Joovy, even though it's the lightest of the 3, but it feels really flimsy. It doesn't have the structure integrity that you will want from a stroller. Compared to Bob Gear and Thule, Joovy is definitely not that great in terms of body design. So all 3 strollers come with sun canopy. Now the Bob Gear and Thule, the sun canopy does offer some SPF protection. However, the Joovy does not have any SPF protection. All 3 strollers, the sun canopy cannot cover the entire baby's body. Now, if you do want more protection for your baby, then Thule might be the one for you. It does have accessories that you can purchase that can cover the entire strollers to protect your baby from the sun. All 3 strollers have multiple pockets where you can store stuff, such as inside the seat, behind the seat, and also under the seat. They do have a capacity. For all 3 of them, the weight capacity is 75 pounds. That's including the baby and all the accessories that you can put inside. Now for the Thule one, the maximum capacity for the child is actually at 49 pounds. But for the other 2, they just only mentioned that the total weight capacity is at 75. Alright, next, let's talk about runnability. Now all 3 of them are suited for jogging. The front wheel is smaller than the rear, and it's easy for all 3 of them to go over terrains. That's not an issue. So the front wheel can be locked for running purpose for all 3 of them. And you do need to do that. According to their instruction, if you don't lock the front wheel, the stroller will become unstable when you are doing fast walking or jogging. So it's not safe for the kid. Now when you are doing jogging, you have to lock the front wheel. Now for the Bob Gear and also Joovy, when you lock the front wheel, because of the position that it has to face forward, the strollers themselves are very hard to maneuver, but not so for the Thule. The Thule, the front wheel can be locked either facing the front or facing the back. When it is facing the front, then the car is very stable, doing straight line. But if you need to run in a place that has more curves, then you can actually lock the front wheel facing back. So that way you have the ability to maneuver the stroller much easier compared to Bob Gear or Joovy. Bob Gear and Joovy, they are only suitable to jog in a straight line. When you lock the front wheels for jogging, the strollers might sometimes veer to the left or veer to the right. For Thule and Bob Gear, you can adjust the front wheel alignment with a dial that's next to the front wheel. But as far as for Joovy, you cannot do that. So adjustability for Joovy is very limited. You can change the height of the handlebar on both Thule and Bob Gear to adjust for your height requirement. But as far as for Joovy, the handlebar cannot be adjusted. So I am about 5'10", 5'11". Now I am already have a hard time to plant Joovy on the ground while I'm running. So if you are much taller than me or much shorter than I am, then you are definitely having a hard time controlling Joovy to plant the front wheel on the ground. So it will become very unsafe when jogging with a baby inside. Alright, lastly I want to talk about is the value. At the time of filming, both Bob Gear Revolution Flex 3 and also Thule Urban Glide 2, they are both $550 on Amazon. Now Joovy Zoom 360 Ultra Light, this is actually at $290. So it's much cheaper than the other two. Now, what I mean by value is I'm not going to compare the price, because if you're going by the price, then obviously Joovy has a better advantage. Now, what I mean by value is that for Thule and Bob Gear, they are solid build jogging strollers. Not so for Joovy. Joovy, there's a reason why it's so cheap. That's because it's not built as great as the other two. Now, also for Bob Gear and Thule, they have a lot of adjustability, such as handlebar, such as making your front wheel align. So when you're running, the car will not veer left or veer right. You can just go straight. Not so for Joovy. And also another thing that Bob Gear and Thule, they do provide you with adapters for your car seat. So potentially you could remove your car seat and put it straight onto your jogging stroller and go. So they have more adjustability and adaptability than the Joovy. My final thought about this 3 stroller is that now because I have tried all 3, I realized there's an issue with jogging stroller when the front wheel is locked because they are facing forward, and it's really hard for you to maneuver when the front wheel is locked. And if you're running a straight line, there's not going to be any issues. But if you have to make turns and there are curves coming up, if you try to avoid stuff, then by all means get Thule, because Thule will be able to let you lock the front wheel facing back. So that way you have more ability to maneuver the stroller than the other two. Now, this is very important because when you are jogging, you need to lock the front wheel. So my suggestion of this 3 stroller is that if you're truly looking for a jogging running stroller, then go with Thule. This is the best choice of the 3. Now, if money is an issue, you want something that's priced much lower, and also you don't run a whole lot, maybe you do occasional fast walking, then go with Joovy, because Joovy is cheaper, and as long as you don't run with it, it's actually pretty stable. Just use it as a walking stroller. Now with Bob Gear, just skip it because it's pricey, and at the same time, when you put it in the running mode, it's just not as great as Thule. So if the price are the same, go with Thule. Skip Bob Gear. So anyway, this is my comparison of the 3 jogging strollers. If you have any questions, comment down below. Until next time, bye.